Godzilla, huh? Okay, let me see what you made of.
Godzilla vs. Kong comes out this March of 2021, and I wanted to go over a very quick overview of what has made Kong what he is today, a king.
We need Kong. The world needs him.
A history of 88 years is what the big ape has gone through, with many highs and a few lows. Today, I wanted to briefly look at Kong's early days of special effects and how they made the eighth wonder of the world come to life. Also, briefly looking at Hollywood's technical capabilities of today.
Of you. Why, in a few months it'll be up in lights on Broadway. Kong, the eighth wonder of the world!
In the 1930s, film was just starting to have sound and showcased the amount of talent in front of the camera and behind the scenes. Films like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Wizard of Oz, Gone with the Wind, and others stand the test of time from that era, and each showcase different merits as to why they are timeless. But one particular film from 1933 revolutionized the industry and did something that no one at the time had done or seen before. In 1933, the film was directed by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. called King Kong. With the film releasing on April 7th in 1933, it has since been considered one of the greatest films of all time, with the American Film Institute currently having the film as the 43rd best American film of all time. The film had an amazing story, interesting characters, and to top it off, it had effects that were never seen before then. The technical magic that was incorporated into the film used a slew of different filming techniques in which actors could appear side by side with Kong in a dense jungle and being tossed around like ragdolls through the effective usage of old school special effects. Looking at scenes like this, how were they able to integrate real human actors and stop motion puppets? The man responsible for these incredible effects and stop motion is Willis O'Brien. O'Brien was a chief technician on the film and was responsible for the stop motion, miniature sets, glass paintings, and full-scale practical creatures. Stop motion is a cinema technique whereby the camera is repeatedly stopped and started, for example, to give animated figures the impression of movement. In 1933, stop motion was not a new technique, but was almost perfected by O'Brien with this film. There were 4 different Kong puppets built, and each of them were made with animal fur, latex, rubber, and an interposable skeleton. Kong and many of the dinosaurs on the island were all stop motion. With some portions in the film, Kong was also integrated with practical effects. The studio had built a bust of Kong's upper body that was more than 10 feet tall, to give movements in the film of Kong moving his eyes and eating people, which would have been difficult for stop motion to do up close. Many of the effects were combined, giving the film a larger feeling than thought possible for the time period. O'Brien combined many of his shots that include a glass painting, miniature models, and matte paintings to give the film depth, and allowed Kong to be animated between those layers to have a realistic feeling to it all. Being able to tinker with rear screen projectors, O'Brien was able to put live-action actors in front of the stop-motion Kong. Many consider 1933's King Kong to be the greatest film of all time, and the special effects played a big part in that, as you can see. Being able to manipulate film like the studio was able to achieve still blows my mind, something that CGI will never be able to hold a candle to. But speaking of CGI, now let's take a look at the current day Kong from Skull Island and Godzilla vs. Kong.
Kong is film history. It's what blew open the doors for so many people on what was possible or imaginable with cinema. What we're doing is trying to pay homage to that and then create something incredible and new and fresh.
As ILM's visual effects supervisor, I got to collaborate really closely with the director, Jordan Vogt-Roberts, and really help define this character as something new and something that people haven't seen before.
The director really wanted to take some inspiration from the older films, the 33 Kong, and so a lot of the designs were initially informed by that. They didn't want him to be just a silverback. They wanted him to be a little more human for the audience to be able to empathize with him. He's probably one of the densest models we've built. I think it was over 500,000 polygons, almost half of the polygons in the face, because in the close-up shots, you see every detail, all the wrinkles. So we wanted to have the resolution in the face.
Initially, we did do a couple of capture sessions with Terry Notary and Toby Kebbell, and that was mainly to have the director work with a performer to find who Kong is and get the very fast iterative feedback from those performers who have a lot of experience doing primate performance. Those capture sessions did provide reference for animators to base their shots on.
When you transfer motion capture to a 100-foot tall creature, it's a very different thing. And we ended up keyframing a lot of the film.
Keyframe animation puts the majority of the responsibility for creating a performance in the animator's hands.
Kong has had a lengthy film career spanning from 1933 all the way up to current day 2021, all of which use different technological effects and equipment to try and bring Kong to life. With 7 theatrical films released, and a few animated ones, Kong has changed shapes and sizes through the years, starting out as a puppet, going from an actor in a suit to modern day CGI, shows how film has changed so drastically over the 88 years since the Eighth Wonder of the World first hit theaters. Willis O'Brien and the original crew created something that really did change the filmmaking world, and even to this day, it is a spectacle that computer graphics cannot capture, showing that the original Kong really was the eighth wonder of the world.
Well, Denham, the airplane's got him. Oh, no. It wasn't the airplanes. It was beauty killed the beast. Beauty killed the beast.